Finesses, Finesses, Spoon Givers and Spoon Takers, we are back. It's the trash bag. Ready to drop Week 6 review, going into Week 7's preview. What an absolute mockery of a week for some people. Okay, son. I've got a little bit of a problem here trying to get on the interstate. Everybody, no one wants to be nice, but when I'm right here wanting to let people get in, I let people slide right in, no diddy. So I don't understand why you guys won't let me go. Thanks, Poppy. Welcome. We are back. It's the trash bag. And now, look, would you watch this? Would you watch this? Go in front of the 18-wheeler. Okay, boom. Trash bag. It's my podcast with the one and only host, Trash Bag. So we've got the normal things today that we're gonna go over. The spoons, the storylines. It's got a kind of a sort of got a busy schedule on the show today. No cheese. I'm having a busy schedule. But we'll kind of run through it real quick. Trying to run through it all kind of fast. No Angelina Jolie. I'm getting ran through. We'll just go through the normal stuff, like I said. Real quick, I would like to say that Cheese gets fed that Hurricane Milton kind of died down a little bit before it hit landfall on his native land, if you will. Milton kind of died down a little bit right before it hit Cheese's house in Florida. So high level spoon feeding for Cheese there. But first, I think I've got 6 storylines. So I gotta kind of blow through these kind of quick. Pause, stand by, brother. Nick Sirianni. For those of you who don't know, it's the Eagles head coach. He's about 99.9991% reason why I disdain the Eagles. And I mean, he does nothing for the team, and then during the bye week they're like, oh, surely he did something to help the team out, to give him a little spark. He got a buzz cut. That's what he did. So that's, I don't know what, I guess that's his definition of doing something for the team. But that's what he did. He I don't know if you guys saw, he was on the sidelines talking to an Eagle fan who was chirping him, rightfully so, because they beat the 1-4 Diddy Watsons. Congratulations! Everybody has. It's not anything big. They're in full tank mode. They sent Amari packing, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Myles Garrett hit the hay here soon either. It's a full rebuild, and that's fine. But he just threw a temper tantrum on the sideline. No average Kamala voter on throwing temper tantrums over nothing. So he's a lot. I just don't really care for the guy, but Nick Sirianni acting like a fool after beating the 1-4 Diddy Watsons is storyline number 1. Storyline number 2. Coaching is at an all-time high of ineptitude. You've got running back by committee galore. I mean, you have, for example, Rachaad White, who was RB4 last season. 4, not an RB4, the RB4. Like, there's only 3 RBs better than him. And I think it was McCaffrey, Brees, somebody else, presumably on Grayson's roster, and then Rachaad White, who was on Grayson's roster. So you have him, and then they're like, but we got Bucky Irving. He's all of 5'1", 121 pounds. And then, so they let him run out there. He gets points on my dome, mind you. And then they're like, you know what? No. I got something even better. Sean Tucker. Whoever that is, some rando from Syracuse. Now, don't get me wrong, he was decent at Syracuse, but he's like a 6th-round player, possibly undrafted. I'm really not sure, but it's just kind of asinine, these running back by committees, insane play calls, etc. Robert Saleh and Doug Peterson, I hope they have a room together. I hope they've got a 2-bedroom condo in Cancun, because that's what they'll be come next week. Robert Saleh's already there waiting, but Doug Peterson will be there expeditiously. And I just don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I literally don't know what they're doing. Call no Charter Spectrum on having no idea what they're doing. I seriously just don't know what's going on. I don't know why these coaches, and I mean, you're not talking about like pushover rosters, right? You've got decent weapons everywhere, and you do nothing with it. Storyline number 3. Aaron Rodgers is starting to lose his luster with the trash bag a little bit. I'm the biggest proponent of Aaron Rodgers being in the GOAT conversation, and like I still truly kind of am. I still to this day think he's the greatest thrower of the football of all time. I think he's made throws that nobody else can make. But that doesn't justify the GOAT. But again, yeah, I think he's one of the most talented throwers of the football of all time. I don't think that's outrageous to say. Wage Alex and Wage Evan. But the man takes no blame. He takes no blame and acts like everything else is his fault. Call no Democratic leadership on taking no blame and acting like everything else is someone else's fault. For example, Mike Wood. So he throws the London game 2 weeks ago. Throws a pick. It's severely underthrown. This was to one random receiver. Then last week throws another game-losing interception to another player, and it was also underthrown. So then, after he said, "Oh, I don't like the play calling or the coaching," and gets rid of Hackett and Saleh, he's like, "Oh, and now Mike Williams, he ran the wrong route." Brother, what route was he supposed to run? It was a 40-yard comeback route. That's not what was happening. I'm not going to sit here and allow you not to take blame for that. It's insane. Unless he was supposed to do a 40-yard comeback stop route, that's not what was happening, because that's what happened. He threw it back shoulder toward the safety. That's not what happened. And the next day, he's on the trade block. So that's getting old. And then as far as Devontae Adams, your hamstring magically heals up or whatever. And it's funny, you beg to go, "Oh, I got to get out of here. This place is somewhere insane." The guy goes from a struggling 2-4 AFC team. He falls asleep on a struggling 2-4 AFC team, wakes up on a struggling 2-4 AFC team. And then, "Oh, my hamstrings better get out of here." Trash bag ain't having it. Trash bag knows your name, and I wish you no success. Moving on. The overseas games, storyline number 4. The overseas games are official punishment for other countries. So we can send billions of dollars to other countries, but we can't send a competitive football game. I mean, what we're sending on Sunday with the Patriots and Jaguars, it's probably the worst thing since the American Revolution. It's probably the worst thing we've done to England since the American Revolution. It's insane. No one wants to watch that. They're only going there by default. Roger Goodell probably pays them off. No Kansas City officials are being paid off by Roger Goodell. And then storyline number 5. Asinine trades this morning. Caller just went from quite literally the 10th or 9th worst roster to having, roster-wise, he probably has a top 5 roster now. And then, of course, he plays the trash bag. My projected was 136. His was like 114. Now he's got a 132 because of you sick, twisted, devious, maniacal monsters. You guys just out here throwing around good players and get nothing in return. It's insane. So I just don't know. It was a 3-way, no diddy, of Skeet, Evan, and Calder, and really they just kind of switched things up this morning. They switched everything. Call no Chaz Bono on switching everything up. And no one's roster except Calder's got better. Skeet's got arguably significantly worse. Evans got I don't know about Evans, but I don't know. I can't keep doing this. All right, we're going to jump into the norm parts of the show. First part, a family favorite. Yeah, does anybody have eyes on Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Goedert, and Travis Etienne? Last seen being relevant on the gridiron. Those 4 players, Harrison, Goddard, Etienne, and Olave, combined for negative 1.1! Tristan Wirfs, I don't know how much you guys follow football. Tristan Wirfs, He's a top 5 offensive lineman in the league, had more points than all 4 of them combined. He had 0.9 fantasy points. I'm not going to keep doing this with these subpar players. Even Mark Andrews has stepped up. I guess being a part of my Amber Alert session, I guess he was not standing for it. Man. Gary, 145, and this will lead right into the Delta of the week. I've kind of noticed whoever gets high, man, like, no one's, like, really just exploded, no diddy. Like, outside of the Calder's team went crazy that one week, not gonna lie, but no one's actually like went super duper like postal nuclear. Gary got 145, that's high, but normally the highest score kind of gets matched up with the lowest score. That's been the case for the last 3 times. Normally it's just me scoring 140 but my opponent scoring 145. That's the typical trend because of my anti. But Gary at 145, Evan at 93, and per the request of Evan and per the request of Cheese, I would like to give a special shout out to Cheese for this song. But Evan, it's time.
I'll show myself to the door. Hey, I didn't mean to cause a big scene. Just give me an hour and then till I'll be as high as that ivory tower that you're living in.
Evan's got points in low places, and his whiskey is needed. On his plate, he gets bad. He's so bad. Ha! Chris Olave and Jerome Ford, they played a part in his ineptitude. Friends in low places. Yeah. All right. Evan's got players in low places. Kudos to the likes of Jerome Ford and Chris Olave. Bravo, gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me to perform on this great show. Next, I've got 5 crazy stats. Let me bust through these real quick. No diddy. Deshaun Watson, 0 of 26 on his last 26 third downs. That's insane. I don't think y'all understand what I just said. I'm not going to repeat it. You can use the rewind button to really kind of go through what I just said. But what I just said is absolutely ludicrous. All know most things that any Democratic president say on being absolutely ludicrous. 0 for 26 on his last 26 third downs? You're telling me you didn't have a 31 and you couldn't fall past the marker? Well, you're bad. Next, storyline number 2. Deshaun Watson has settled more legal cases than thrown touchdown passes in Cleveland. I mean, at this point, and this is going to be crazy. Y'all might want to sit down. You might want to have a seat. He might actually be a better person than a football player. I mean, that's insane because he's just an awful human being. But I mean, he might be a better person. He might be a better person than a football player. So the Browns got absolutely hoodwinked, robbed blind, no Clay. So I don't know, man. Storyline number 3. The Doug Peterson and Nick Foles Super Bowl needs to be studied. I don't know if that was rigged. No, last year. But you talk again. I said Nick Foles and Doug Peterson. They've won a Super Bowl. I was just thinking about it the other day. I think it needs to be studied. So that's insane. Next, Aaron Rodgers, a.k.a. the Prince of Percocet. He has more successful Hail Marys, 4, than Jets have playoff appearances since 2005. That's quite a comical sentence, if you ask me. No Joe Biden on putting together a comical sentence. How is that humanly possible? Just embarrassing. So in 20 years, there has been more successful Hail Mary passes thrown by one man, the Prince of Percocet, than the Jets have had playoff appearances. We're not talking about getting dumped in the first round, No Philadelphia Eagles are getting dumped in the first round. Okay, I'm at 15 minutes here, and I still got quite a bit of content here. And then the storyline number 5 has nothing to do with NFL. It will next year when he's drafted. Ashton Genty, the running back for the Boise State. What are they? I don't even know what their mascot is. Cougars, maybe. Boise's. No, I don't know. They're bad. They've got the blue field. His odds to score a touchdown last week was minus 6,600. Do you realize what type of odds those are? If you guys don't follow exactly what I'm saying, that means if you put down $6,600 for him to score a touchdown, if you're going to go over, you would win $100. That's it. Are y'all not hearing what I'm saying? That's insane. The Vegas and these other bookies, which are rigged, by the way, they are asking you, begging you, imploring your camp to put down money, saying he will not score it. It's a donation. No Diddy, let me clean my screen real quick, make myself look more handsome than I already am. Here comes a punch bug. I wonder if he's gonna let me over. Wage. Testosterone amount. Let's go through there. And then real quick, I'm gonna bust through these the pathetic teams. Not 11 level postal. Caleb Williams, Chris Godwin, Derrick Henry. I think they combined 28 plus 25. Not great at math. That's 53 plus another 30. 83 points betwixt the three of them. Most pathetic teams, the Seahawks. They thought they were good. They had their new coach. No, they're Mike McDonald from the Ravens. They had their new coach, and that's fine. I think he's a good coach. They were 3-0 because of their Make-A-Wish schedule. No Pittsburgh Steelers and Clemson Tigers on having Make-A-Wish schedules. But now, I think they're 3-3 because they ran into actual teams. So, I guess they thought they were going to be good, which they're just not. The Cowboys. The Lions, I don't know if you guys watched the game. I didn't watch much of it. They were just toying with them. They literally did not take them seriously. They were out here running out Dan Skipper, who's a lineman, out here doing flea flickers and laterals to linemen, doing go routes with linemen. They literally just were not taking them seriously. Call no North Greenville business curriculum on not being taken seriously. It was just embarrassing, and I haven't seen Jerry Jones this upset since they desegregated public schools. Moving on. The Patriots. Their games are really getting hard to watch, and now the savior of the world, Drake May, he's also bad. I guess they're just tanking. I guess they were just gonna suck their way to the top. No Kamala Harris on sucking your way to the top. And I guess they just want the number 1 draft pick, so that's that. The Cardinals. 34-13. Your best offensive weapon goes out with a concussion expeditiously, might I add. He gets out. So what do? You take your second best offensive weapon, James Conner, and you shelf him for Emari DeMarcado and Trey Benson, whom both fumble, by the way. And then you wonder why you lose. It's insane. I don't understand. So you do all that. Good grief, that person was flying. Holy cow nuggets. So yeah, you do all that. You shelf your best player after your first best player gets hurt, and then you wonder, I wonder why I'm not losing. And then I'm over here, an intellectual, saying, your IQ must be room temperature, right? Because naturally, you're going to lose if you don't give the ball to your best players. The Giants. The Cincinnati defense has been yams and collard greens all season. It's just been complete and utter dookie juices. And you weren't able to scheme open your players to success against that Swiss cheese defense? Oh no, Tom Brady on scheming his way to success. I just don't get it, dude. I really don't get it. Moving on. Got to get through this real quick. Biggest spoon and anti. The biggest spoon, I'm not going to lie, Chase Brown, 30-yard touchdown to win the game. Stop playing with me. He stopped at the 1, which he probably should have, I would have been +6. I'd have lost by 2. And that would have, by the way, been 4 losses on the season that I had by a total of 31 points, by the way. No, 29 points. So that would have really aggravated me, really would have rubbed me the wrong way, no diddy. And the biggest anti, low-key, probably Alex. Poor guy. He actually had a chance with Cook being out, and he had the thought process to take his back up, which is awesome. It's just incredible gamesmanship. He had the thought process to take him, and then Ty Johnson does what Ty Johnson does, backup stuff, doesn't do anything. Alex makes a ferocious comeback, and then at the very end of the game, he actually won. They threw Breece Hall the ball. He gained I think 11 yards. So 1.1 plus 0.5 is 1.6. That means Alex wins by 0.3. Spoonie, don't get me wrong, but it happened. Next thing you know, Kansas City, bow, flag. There was more flags in this game than a pride flag quiz. Pow, pow, pow. You get a flag. You get a flag. It was insane. And that flag alone knocked Alex out. Same with DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf had a 60-yard McNugget, and then it got called back off a bogus penalty. Amari Cooper had an 85-yard McNugget pulled back 2 weeks ago off another bogus penalty. As has Bijan Robinson. It's insane. Okay, so these penalties are starting to rack up, and it's kind of aggravating me. But real quick, moving on, we'll go to next week, match of the week. I haven't looked at this. So we'll kind of jump into it real quick. I hate when it does that, bro. It always jumps back to my last season, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but it always jumps back to week 3 where I beat Calder in the championship game. It literally just jumps back to that. So I have to go back through every time and go back to my team this season and see how pathetic it is. And now it takes a while. I know I play Calder. I think 1-5. Okay, there it is. Boom. Boom diddy nuggets. All right, here we go. 22 minutes. This is insane. It's not coming up, bruh. Okay, so I know for a fact I play Calder, and I'm 3-3, and Calder is he lost. I think 1-5. So that's not going to be match of the week. And like I said, I can't get this to pull up. And now it's asking me. Oh, now it's asking me for this. You've got to be kidding me. Oh man, why are you acting like this? Oh, it's asking me for my login. And let me knock this out real quick for you boys. And my deepest sympathies for this insane amount of ineptitude coming from my podcast camp. I'll be sure to fire my my host, my production manager for this. This is unacceptable for the trash bag. But yeah, let's see. I can't, and I just can't log in. I cannot believe this. So, yeah, I don't know off the top. I really don't. I'm not even gonna try to wing it. But yeah, we'll call it quits for today. I want to say, I can't remember, man. It's Skeet. It might be Skeet and Cheese, maybe. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I can't log in. It's actually, I guess, the right code. 1 second. 863. No Mark Zuckerberg on listening to everything I'm saying. Okay. Okay, boom. Okay, we're in here. 1-5 and 3-3, Andrew and Calder. Scoggins plays Cheese, 1-5, another 1-5, 3-3. If the Zacks are able to come up with that one, it kind of evens the playing field a little bit. Definitely match of the week. Match of the week. Gary and Alex. Probably a battle for first place. Galton Evan play too. That game is huge. If Cheese, me, and Skeet win, both 3-3, being 4-3 at that point, and Alex loses, that means you have 5 4-3 teams. That really kind of shakes things up in here a little bit. So yeah, that's nice. But the match of the week, I've probably got to say Gary and Alex, just by record alone. But Evan and Gall, that's also really good. That's good stuff. But they're also 4-4. But we'll see what happens. But I'm at 25 minutes, boys. I'm going to wrap this thing up. No pause. But you know what time it is. It's the trash bag. We'll do it again soon. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. Caller, you are back.